The Shunammite son restored to life. Another one. This is another one. Take note. Remember, I told you Elisha's going to be important too, right? One day, Elisha went to Shunem, and a well to do woman was there who urged him to stay for a meal. So whenever he came by, he stopped there to eat. She said to her husband, I know that this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God. Let's make a small room on the roof and put in it a bed and a table, a chair, and a lamp for him. Then he can stay there whenever he comes to us. One day Elijah came. He went up to his mom or to his room, to his room and lay down there. He said to his servant Gehazi, I'm going to take note of Gehazi. We'll find out more about his character soon too. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be in this Bible study or the next one, but let's continue. Call the Shunammite. So he called her, and she stood before him. Elijah said to him, tell her, you have gone to all this trouble for us. Now what can be done for you? Can we speak on your behalf to the king or the commander of the army? She replied, I have a home among my own people. What can be done for her? Elijah asked. Gehazi said, well, she has no son, and her husband is old. Then Elijah said, call her. So he called her, and she stood in the doorway. About this time next year, Elijah said, you will hold a son in your arms. No, my lord, she objected. Don't mislead your servant, O man of God. But the woman became pregnant, and the next year, about that same time, she gave birth to a son, just as Elijah had told her. So, yet again, another blessing. And she didn't believe it at first. She was like, and it wasn't necessarily, it's that humanistic thing. It was fear, it was disbelief, it was wonder. Could it happen? Maybe it's going to happen. This person is saying it, so she's saying, and she knows he's a man of God, and she's like, don't say something if it's misuse of the Lord, if it's not from the Lord, because that's raising somebody's hope. It's raising somebody's spirits, raising somebody's, like, oh my gosh, something amazing is going to happen. And then it happens. It happens. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's take a quick pause for technical. Okay, so well, I'm back, and let's continue to read. The child grew, and one day he went out to his father, who was with the reapers. My head, he said to his father. His father told a servant, carry him to his mother. After the servant had lifted him up and carried him to his mother, the boy sat on her lap until noon, and then he died. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, then shut the door and went out. So the son, something must have happened to the son, where it hit his head or something happened, and so the boy was carried back to his mother, and his father told a servant, and then carry him to his mother. He was carried back to his mother, and his mother held him, until and then he passed. So she put him on the bed of Elisha, the prophet, the man of God. And so she's upset. So let's continue to read and see what happens. She called her husband and said, please send me one of the servants and a donkey so I can go to the man of God quickly and return. Why go to him today? He asked. It's not the new moon or the Sabbath. It's all right, she said. She saddled the donkey and said to her servant, lead on. Don't slow down for me unless I tell you. So she set out and came to the man of God at Mount Carmel. She was determined. She thought that she could seek out the man of God, and that the man who this prophet Elijah, and that he would be able to speak speak directly to the Lord and 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 help her. She she was seeking the Lord so much that she didn't want to slow down. She didn't want she just wanted to be on her way. Let's continue to read. When he saw her in the distance, the man of God said to his servant Gehazi, "Look, there's the Shunammite. Run to meet her and ask her, 'Are you all right? Is your husband all right? Is your child all right?' 'Everything is all right,' she said. When she reached the man of God at the mountain, she took hold of his feet. Gehazi came over to push her away, but the man of God said, 'Leave her alone. She is in bitter distress, but the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me why.' 'Did I ask you for a son, my lord?' she said. 'Didn't I tell you? Don't raise my hopes.' Elijah said to Gehazi, 'Tuck your cloak into your belt, take my staff in your hand, and run. If you meet anyone, do not greet him, and if anyone greets you, do not answer. Lay my staff on the boy's face.' But the child's mother said, 'As surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave you.' So he got up and followed her. Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the boy's face, but there was no sound or response. So Gehazi went back to meet Elisha and told him, 'The boy has not awakened.' When Elijah reached the house, there was the boy lying dead on his couch. He went in, shut the door on the two of them, and prayed to the Lord." Take note of this. This is another important part because this is going to be similar things are going to happen, especially all the way into the New Testament as well. So take note. Take note. Similar to this, what's going to happen. Then he got on the bed and lay upon the boy, mouth to mouth, eyes to eyes, hands to hands. As he stretched himself out upon him, the boy's body grew warm. Elisha turned away and walked back and forth in the room, and then got on the bed and stretched out upon him once more. The boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha summoned Gehazi and said, "Call the Shunammite," and he did. When she came, he said, "Take your son." She came in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and went out. So she was just overjoyed, and once again reaffirmed that the Lord is God, right? And that he was utilizing Elijah. And things can happen. Things can happen when we're walking with the Lord. Miracles, things can happen. You never know. Those things out of the ordinary that you've never seen before, or completely strange, or things can happen. Think about it in your own walk, in your own life. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?